Tonight at 9, the federal government is canceling tens of millions of dollars in grants for the city and county of Denver. We have confirmed the Department of Homeland Security says FEMA will not pay Denver $24 million in grant money promised to help shelter migrants. FEMA had already given the city $8 million of the...
So in case you're wondering, what do they mean by all of this money to shelter migrants? So months ago, because Denver is a sanctuary city, migrants were giving vouchers for nice hotels, in most cases, food, clothes, medical, legal, and a lot of people were in an uproar. So what this outlines is that the new government agencies under the federal programs will no longer allow this money to come to sanctuary cities such as Denver to pay for such expense.
$32 million it originally promised. In a letter obtained by Fox 31, FEMA writes in part, quote, grant programs that support or have the potential to support illegal immigration through funding illegal activities or support for illegal aliens that is not consistent with DHS's enforcement focus do not effectuate the agency's current priorities.
Now, before we continue, we're going to wrap this up. This is going to be a short video. I did a video on this months ago. In fact, I did an episode where they were talking to the governor and he said, I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that we continue to be the sanctuary city we are and to give this money to the migrants who need it. People were in an uproar. So pay attention to the very end of this, because it's like, wait, hold on. You guys said that you were going to support this and now you're not?
Today, Denver's budget director also said $1 million grant for housing electrification has been cut and several grants for public health could be in jeopardy. Overall, Denver's budget has anywhere from $100 to $200 million of grant money, most of it coming from the feds.
The city does not have the capacity, if all of that federal funding were to go away, to backfill it. And so that is another risk that we are careful.
Dude, we never had the capacity. If you live in Denver, you know. You look at the streets, you look at some of these communities, you look at the homelessness on these streets, you know that we didn't have the money. So why just spend so much trying to withhold the ability to remain a sanctuary city?
Monitoring and very concerned about. There have been several grant terminations.
We reached out to the mayor's office about the potential impact of the FEMA cuts on this year's budget. Officials saying the short-term impact is small. They sent us a statement saying, quote, FEMA dollars take an eternity, and these were never going to be factored into either this year's budget or next year's. We'd only received about a quarter of the grant in question to date. But ultimately, it's still money the city could use, and we worked very hard to procure in response to a crisis that was not of our making.
I'm gonna play a quick video for you all. Check this out. Comments below.
So let's take the president at his word. He said that he's willing to use the military to take out these deportations, to come into places like Denver especially, and deport people. What happens if the military comes in? What does Mayor Mike Johnson do?
I think if that were to happen, I think that would be illegal, that would be immoral, and that would be un-American.